Hi, we're here with Don Saladino, fitness expert, and Martha McKittrick, registered dietitian, and we are going to be discussing today our FODMAPs, digestive issues and fitness, and how to balance the two when you're working with a lot of these, uncomfortable. How do you navigate?
Well, let's explain a FODMAP first of all, because I heard about this the last couple of years, and I've been in the business for a while. So.
Right. So it's estimated about 20% of people have irritable bowel syndrome. And even if you don't have irritable bowel syndrome, when you work out, you might have problems with gas or bloating. If you're trying to run, you get cramps.
Yeah.
And basically, people with IBS can get a lot of relief from their symptoms with what's called a low FODMAP diet. And FODMAP stands for fermentable. So that's the only word you really need to remember is fermentable. Oligodimono, let's just say fermentable. So basically, certain kinds of carbohydrates, they're short chain carbohydrates, they get kind of malabsorbed in the intestines in people with IBS. And it can pull in water.
Right.
It has an osmotic effect. It can cause people to get diarrhea. So you're in the middle of going for a run and then boom, something happens to you. It can also cause the gut to ferment the carbohydrates and cause gas and bloating. Distension, so it's just a super uncomfortable feeling, and the food that you eat can make it worse. And
FODMAP doesn't sound so sexy, but I always refer to it as the low bloat diet.
Right.
Because even in fitness, when we're bloated, when you have that level of distension in your midsection, you know what we're talking about. It's not really that pretty. So I have noticed even myself by paying closer attention to the FODMAP chart and having foods that are on the low FODMAP chart, that I did feel a level of bloating and a level of distension. And fortunately, I've never had any digestive issues, but I think more than 1/3 of the U.S. population probably has that.
And when you have it chronically, like I know if my stomach is ever upset, I don't want to move, right? Like forget about eating. The last thing I want to think about is going to the gym and trying to lift weights or run. I just want to be still.
Right.
And I want it to pass. Right. So, the question is for somebody, let's say you are starting a low FODMAP diet or you're struggling through your stomach issues, it's important to consistently still get in a healthy dose of some exercise.
Yeah, sure.
So
I think
I'm
when
going
you're not,
to challenge.
Yes.
I'm going to challenge both. I mean, some of the food stuff I know, but I want to hear, we want to hear your thoughts on this. But okay, you're getting started on a low FODMAP diet, and if you want to be training, you still want to do things without upsetting your stomach. What's the best way with IBS and what are some things that you would recommend for people with stomach issues to do at the gym that will bring them to that point where they don't feel excluded, like they want to be healthy too.
I think it's very individualistic. I think specific things in the gym, I've worked with plenty of people here with IBS, and there's certain movements that they'll just go jump into or running or jerking, or it depends. I mean, I think it all depends on the individual. What I always recommend for people though is if it hurts, stop doing it. If you feel uncomfortable, stop doing it. Most of the time, this whole Rocky type mentality that we all kind of grew up with, Rocky was, no one talks about when he was sleeping in the bed after fighting Apollo Creed for 6 months. And a big problem with our society is everyone thinks more is better. If they're feeling better, let's push through it. And when you push through it, you're putting your body under tension. You're putting your body under stress. And that stuff, reminding your body of pain day in and day out is, in my opinion, risk for you to be able to carry more pain throughout your lifetime. And when someone is in chronic pain, the word chronic, it's repeated, it's constant, it's consistent, and we want to get out of that. So, I've seen so much variability when it comes to exercise selection, and I've seen someone who has IBS or some type of digestive issue, and if we do anything jumping, it aggravates them. And the other person, if I have them jump, they're completely fine. But for some reason, when they're doing a step up and down the stairs, they're aggravated by it. So my recommendation is pain-free. Just find some. There's a lot of tools in the toolbox. Find what works for you and stay with it.
Yeah, because there could be. I'm just thinking about cycling, right?
Yeah,
where you're stationary and you still have your legs going, but there's not a lot of moving going on with your stomach because you're in a stationary point.
Again, in the beginning, I would think that was the sensible. All right, we'll get someone on the spin bike instead of running. But I've seen so much variability from individual to individual, and I think that's what I want everyone to take away from this is that if you can try it if you don't have pain, but if you have pain and it's aggravating you, then find another tool in the gym. There's we have so much equipment in these gyms now, and there's so many ways that we can train. Do not stick with what's bothering you.
Right, and you know, I think there's also other ways that you can incorporate maybe like a Pilates or some like Pilates movements into it where it's not terribly straining. But
I also like a
need,
lot of the deep. I like a lot of the breathing, and I love things like Pilates and yoga. But again, granted, you're going to a good instructor, because people ask me, "Is yoga good?" I'm like, that's like asking me if training in a gym's good, or if Pilates is good, or if spinning's good. It depends on the instructor. It depends on the principles that they're pushing. And if you're going into a yoga class and they're choosing good, safe movements, and they have a good instructor and they're focusing on breathing and getting the body, parasympathetic, because we're so sympathetic all the time, then I think that would be great for someone with digestive problems.
I definitely think that it makes sense, just the way if somebody with digestive issues has to follow a low FODMAP diet and seek professional guidance on what to eat. I think that the message remains the same, that when you're going to the gym, you're entering this like unknown territory of like, how's my body going to react, right? So I would think that the best thing to do is to work with somebody individually, at least in the beginning, say like, wow, these are the things that, like, these are the foods I know that trigger, this is when I should eat before or after or during, and like, these are the movements that are okay with me, and these are the movements that are not okay with me, and how can I optimize my workout with the movements that I know are okay with me.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, I think that's the important.
It's the same if someone's injured. It's the same if someone's injured. If squatting hurts, then don't squat.
Yeah.
If split squatting's fine, then do split squats.
Right.
It's fine. No one said we have to get out of this whole assumption that we've got to do this to get in shape, or just pain-free. Like, training should be enjoyable. It should be fun. We should feel good from it. We shouldn't be finishing a workout session feeling like complete garbage. All right.